Live from Linguini's base of operations, today we will be diving into stop motion, what keeps stop motion animating entertaining, a random quote, and the grind of stop motion. So you're not going to want to miss out. See you on the flip side.
You are now listening to Linguini's Dough.
Okay, hey, this is Landini from Linguini's Dough, and today we're going to talk about what keeps stop motion animating entertaining, because obviously there's a real grind to it. It's not just let me film something real quick. You got to really plan it out, and in my experience, it's the end result that keeps me enjoying it, really. It would be from, here's an idea of these Lego toys that can just do nothing. Like, you can hold them, mess around with them, but they're not going to actually do anything unless you animate them. And if you animate them, they're going to actually come to life. And I found that really cool. You also don't need a lot of people. You can make these all by yourself, and you just improve and improve. And the stop motion community is pretty awesome too. I've voice acted for quite a few people. My most iconic one was Toon Bros, voicing Recon, and I voiced a couple of their actors for him. But I find that really fun, which also helps. So the community. Well, yeah, and then as I'm animating, the time just passes by, weirdly enough. Even though I would get in the weird, uncomfortable positions because my chair wouldn't fit with my camera and my desk to animate. And really, there is a lot of challenges with stop motion animation. It's not just pull out my phone camera and record. It's because you're trying to improve upon each video. You don't try making a video with the same amount of quality as your last. And it happens sometimes. Sometimes you put quantity over quality. But for the most part, you put quality over quantity, trying to improve on yourself. I feel like it can get a little bit hard when you don't get feedback on your comments. I think when you start out, a lot of it is either you just get dislikes and no feedback, or you get feedback from your supporters every now and then. And I really did appreciate that, and it makes you strive further to do better. So that always helped to keep it entertaining. Of course, it's not just a plain and simple answer of, oh, stop motion is entertaining. Because obviously, for some people, it's not going to be. It requires a lot of patience. So it's just got to click for you. If it doesn't click, you're not going to enjoy it. But I do think you should try it. It's always worth something that you might enjoy, you might not. I mean, it gives you an excuse to play with toys as you age, I guess. I don't think it really matters if you play with Legos as an adult or as you get older. But I personally don't. I just like to animate with them. There's also a lot of I can't say that word. Nostalgia. There's also a lot of nostalgia when you do stop motion, because you have your Lego sets that you collected as a kid and the ones that you saved up for as a kid. I mean, you still do it as a stop motion animator, but I wouldn't say nearly as much. And you kind of just, the nostalgia of those makes it more entertaining in a sense. And I still have all my Legos. I don't know, I would be pretty sad to get rid of them. Even though I haven't touched them in quite a while. So that was nice. I would say the pre-production is depending on who you are, because for some people, writing the script is going to be one of their favorite parts about it, because you get to imagine what the toys or the clay or whatever it is that you're animating is how it's going to come to life. And that's always something cool to imagine. And then you get it, depending on what you had in mind, it will change how it turned out. So sometimes you'll have this really good idea and it will turn out like crap. So you'll strive better the next time to come up with maybe a simpler idea. But the outcome comes closer to what you imagined. It's never quite how you imagined it. I know with Battle for Brickma, I imagined it as, I don't know how I imagined it actually. I don't know. But either way, it didn't turn out as good as I thought it would, but I still think it came out pretty good. And it's another way that you just want to keep improving. It's not something you want to just stop improving on. So I like that. Oh, another thing that's really entertaining is especially for people that do mock channels. With mock channels, they usually build their own sets, or even just making stop motions. You build your own set a lot of the time to make it fit the camera best, the scene best, and that can be really entertaining because you can get really creative with stuff you never thought you would be able to build. And it depends. Some people are more like, I'll just stick with Lego instructions. That would be me. And I do enjoy just building Lego sets. I don't know why. It's just, oh no, I'm following instructions. Wow, it's a Lego set. Wow. Yeah. And then there's some people that like the creativity of just having all their Legos together and taking pieces apart, finding new pieces, all that fun stuff. And they make really cool set designs. And, what was it? Brick Bros Productions, I think it is. They showed a good example of how you can make the background or city designs be really small Legos and end up making them look giant, like a whole city. It's really cool. So you can get really creative with stop motion animating. And it's all real. It's not, aside from maybe special effects, which those are also fun to put in, especially like lightsabers. Those are grindy, but oh man, they're fun. So yeah, there's not really much to say about why stop motion animation is fun or entertaining. It's just what clicks with certain people. Like me, it clicked. I haven't really animated in a while because, I don't know, still kind of doesn't last forever, the click. It might, I don't know. I should add that. I should talk about that sometime. All right, so now we're gonna go talk about our quote. Okay, so we're gonna be talking about a quote. I found this kind of interesting / funny, and I think it would be relatively true. Don't know because I've never paid that much attention to it. But here it is. It's by Jim Rohn. Motivation alone is not enough. If you have an idiot and you motivate him, now you have a motivated idiot. I like that, just because the fact you can motivate an idiot. But no, it's true. If you motivate a hard worker, if they put in the self-discipline with the motivation, you're going to get a motivated hard worker, or motivated scientist, or motivated teacher. But if you put that into the other's perspective of if you motivate an idiot, you're going to motivate, texting and driving. So I thought it was kind of interesting, but I don't know what else to say about it. It's pretty self-explanatory. Kind of reminds me how when Bill Gates said, I think this was Bill Gates, I'm not for sure, but Bill Gates was like, I'd rather hire a lazy person because they're going to find the laziest way to do it, or a way to do it, get it done quicker. Kind of reminds me of that, which is kind of also why I liked it. But I don't know, not much else to talk about it here. So now we're going to talk about the grind of stop motion. So see you then. Hello? Okay. So stop motion is very grindy if you don't already know. You have to move each individual frame for the most part. There's times when you don't need movement and it's silent, but for the most part, you should be moving because you want action. Our eyes go to what's moving. They don't stick with what's still. And if you only have still, then our eyes aren't interested, or our brains aren't that interested. So there's a grind to stop motion. I think the hardest grindy part is the stop motion itself, taking each frame and moving it. Obviously, you got pre-production. I'd say it's second most. Video editing, I think the hardest part about that is just a lot of apps aren't really meant for stop motion, and you use them anyways for stop motion. That's not too bad, though. Yeah, for the most part, it's just animating and pre-production. With animating, you want to line up it with what's happening with the voiceover or the music, and you have to go frame by frame. So you'll sit there one day, spend hours, and you get 10 seconds of footage, and then you kind of compare yourself to people who film, and they're like, that would take me 10 seconds for 10 seconds of footage. So you really got to stay motivated, but like I said earlier, if it clicks, and you're going to want to keep doing it. It's more than just having patience, because for me personally, a lot of people say stop motion, you have to have a lot of patience. For me personally, I haven't really seemed like you need a lot of patience. I mean, you do, in a sense. But I don't know. It depends, because when you enjoy it, you don't need a lot of patience. You just enjoy it. It's like playing a video game or getting addicted to a video game. You just can't stop. You keep going, even though apparently you need patience. So from an outside view, you need patience, and to a degree, it depends who you are. For me personally, it was never like a patience thing. I just enjoyed it. It made time fly by faster, and in the end, I got to see what it looked like. And then you have pre-production, and everybody does this different, but for me, what I did was get the voiceovers, and I'd put them in Premiere and figure out with a 24 frames per second timeline what happens between each second of a frame, or each second. And this would take a while, and this part I didn't enjoy, so this is where I take patience, and it would just take me a longer time to get done, which I usually did end up getting it done, which is good. So yeah. So if you ever do plan on going into stop motion, just try to manage your time well, because it is a grindy process. It's not just like 10 seconds, so it's no problem. And then you also have the difficulties of whatever camera setup you're using. I know I've used a lot of setups that was battery based. That's my current one, actually, for if I do animate. I will use a battery, so I have to know how long my battery will last with it, and then add that with how long it might take to film or animate this scene, so I can charge it between the next. I would say that also added to the grind, just keeping track of batteries and all that stuff. I do know a lot of people use their phones, which is probably nice in the aspect of batteries aren't a problem. And I would buy a dummy battery for my camera, but they're kind of expensive. So yeah, I think that's where we're going to end it today. See ya. Before I end it off right here, I'm going to credit the songs I used in the intro/outro. I used Digital Memories, Charangos, and Witness from the YouTube library. So if you ever want to go check those out, they're just in the YouTube library. I also would like to link my social media. My Instagram, it's Landini_Linguini. And obviously you're watching this on YouTube, so Landini Linguini. Subscribe if you really enjoyed it. Like it if you enjoyed it. Comment any feedback, any sort of stuff like that. I would really appreciate it. And hope to see you next time.